It's a brand new day with Mo and News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled, from morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Hey guys, it's Mo, and it is the 6th of December and a Friday. So happy Friday, everyone. Thank you, Wolfram, for your Modly Mod duties. Good morning, Christine and Tammy Boger, and Greedy Bloke, Swifty, Tammy, and Jen Devka. Welcome. We have updates on the United Healthcare CEO. Oh, okie dokie. That would be because the mic was wrong. Thank you so much, Wolfram, for letting me know that. It usually goes directly to my regular mic, but today it had the webcam because of Kos. Of course, not a Kos. It's a Friday. The suspected uh, killer who unalived United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson came to New York City on an interstate Greyhound bus last month, police sources tell the Post. The suspect arrived at Port Authority Bus Terminal in Manhattan back on November 24th after it set off from Atlanta, Georgia, according to sources. It was not immediately clear, though, where the cold-blooded gunman jumped from the bus or got off the bus and where he went after that. After setting foot in the Big Apple, he checked into High New York City Hostel on the Upper West Side before going to stake out the Hilton Hotel in Midtown, where he ended up unaliving Thompson early Wednesday. He appeared to have checked out of the youth hostel for one night before returning in an Uber a day later on November 3rd to rebook a room with a fake New Jersey ID, per sources. I don't know. How they know how he got on a bus and everything else, I'm not quite sure. And then haven't found him yet. We don't know. But this is a picture of the guy because apparently, allegedly, he took off his mask to get a Starbucks. Because when you're gonna go unalive a greedy capitalist, you need $20 coffee. You really do. Meanwhile, police released chilling surveillance images earlier Thursday that showed the unaliver unmasked for the first time as he flashed a smile in the lobby of the same hostel. Sources say that the gunman only pulled down his mask because he was flirting with the receptionist and she asked to see his face. Ah, females, we win again. Cops and FBI agents subsequently scoured the hostel, but a search of his room, which he shared with two others, yielded nothing of note as of Thursday afternoon, according to sources. The developments come as police slowly piece together the hitman's whereabouts in the days leading up to the shooting. As the manhunt for the gunman continued, sources say cops have since recovered the burner phone he ditched as he fled the crime scene and disappeared into Central Park just minutes after unaliving the executive. The suspect had been seen making a call on the phone as he made his way to the hotel on 6th Avenue, police said. Officials said they've also found one of the water bottles that he purchased at Starbucks on West 56th Street and 6th Avenue, just minutes from the hostel. So they might be able to get DNA evidence We might be able to do all of that. So hopefully we get this guy. But I think this is really, why would you pay $4 for a bottle of water when you can go to a bodega and probably pay at least 3? I don't know how expensive things are in New York, but what, he didn't even get cake pops? Like, why even go to Starbucks? Seriously. Now, the other kind of side story with this is that, and let me see if I can pull it up. I thought I pulled it up, which is why I'm looking for it. So here's a side story with this. Now, Taylor Lorenz, our favorite 80-year-old cray cray woman on the internet, decided to post on Blue Sky this story and what basically amounts to possibly, threats to Blue Cross and Blue Shield. So they decided to reverse the decision to put a time limit on anesthesia. Yes, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield was going to stop. Boom her, I will have to look into it. I have not, I kind of checked out yesterday just to kind of check out and do errands and things like that. So I have not been keeping up on every single uh, update on this case, but I will definitely look into that for you. But Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield had decided that insurance was not going to cover anesthesia after a certain point during, surgeries. One of the country's largest health insurers reversed a change in policy Thursday after widespread outcry, saying it would not tie payments in some states to the length of time a patient went under anesthesia. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield said in a statement that its decision to backpedal resulted from significant widespread misinformation about the policy. To be clear, it never was and never will be the policy of Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield to not pay for medically necessary anesthesia services, the statement said. The proposed update to the policy was only designed to clarify the appropriateness of anesthesia consistent with well-established clinical guidelines. What they're trying to say in CYA covering your butt sort of thing is that they were only going to pay for so many units. So typically in medicine, a unit is 15 minutes. So in order for insurance to pay, you have to show that you are doing that for 15 minutes. So they were probably going to go by an established, like, this is the quickest that you should be able to get this surgery done. We are only going to pay for 4 units or 5 units of anesthesia. I am not a medical, or what is it? I am not an HMO guide or any sort of expert, but that's what I'm guessing they were trying to do with this is to, try to make doctors perform surgeries within the time limit, knowing that they wouldn't get paid for extra stuff. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield would have used physician work time values, which were published by the Centers for Medicine and Medicaid Services, as the metric for anesthesia limits. Maternity patients and patients under the age of 22 were exempt, but Dr. Jonathan Gall, Economics Committee Chair of the American Society for Anesthesiologists, said it is unclear how CMS derives those values. In mid-November, the American Society for Anesthesiologists called on Anthem to reverse the proposal immediately, saying in a news release that the policy would have taken effect in February in New York, Connecticut, and Missouri. It's not clear how many states in total it would have affected, as notices were also posted in Virginia and Colorado. Absolutely, Pokemon. As a blonde who has a lot of redhead tendencies, my body eats lidocaine and anesthesia. It just does. Now, people across the country registered their concerns and complaints on social media and encouraged people in affected states to call their legislators. Some people noted that the policy would prevent patients from getting overcharged, or could prevent patients from getting overcharged. Gao said the policy change would have been unprecedented, ignored the nuanced and unpredictable human element of surgery, and was a clear money grab. Quote, it is incomprehensible how a health insurance company could so blatantly continue to prioritize their profits over safe patient care, he said. If Anthem is, in fact, rescinding the policy, we're delighted that they came to their senses. Prior to Anthem's announcement Thursday, Connecticut Comptroller Sean Scanlon said the concerning policy wouldn't affect the state after conversations with the insurance company, and New York Governor Kathy Hochul, fresh from draining a Gelfling, tell me that woman is not a Skeksis and change my mind. Just change my mind. Said in an emailed statement Thursday that her office had also successfully intervened. The insurance giant's policy change came one day after the CEO of United Healthcare, another major insurance company, was unalived in New York City. Yeah, I think that these insurance companies are like, we got to stop screwing the American people. And I don't want anyone to have died for this to be, I don't know, a thing, but good Lord, how insurances do not help people get health care. If anything, they have made it more expensive, more bureaucratic, and more nameless and faceless and just turn us all into numbers. They are not fit for purpose if their purpose was to help people get affordable, reliable, and quality health care. If they do none of those things, then they need to be repurposed or made fit for purpose. Now, I did not have this on my bingo card, but man severely injured in polar bear attack while defending his wife in Ontario. There are polar bears in Ontario? I guess I won't be visiting that part of Ontario. A man who jumped onto a polar bear to protect his wife from being mauled in Canada is now recovering from serious injuries. But props to this husband who jumped on a daggone polar bear. Like, Hallmark, we need a movie of this. Screw, hot snowman or 40-year-old woman leaves the city. I want polar bear love. I would watch that movie. Also, if you put Henry Cavill in it, I would watch that movie. Now is where Nishnawbe Aski Police Service officers responded to a home in a residential area of Ontario following reports of gunfire, and at the scene they located a dead polar bear. Prior to arrival, the department announced in a news release police also received reportings of a possible bear sighting in the same area. Arriving officers learned that a husband and wife at the address left their home at 5 a.m. to look for their dogs. While on the driveway of their home, a polar bear lunged at the wife, the release continues. The woman slipped to the ground as her husband leapt onto the animal to prevent its attack, officers wrote in the release. The bear then attacked the husband, causing serious but not life-threatening injuries to his arm and legs. During the attack, police reported that a neighbor arrived with a force multiplier and shot the bear several times. The bear retreated into nearby wooded area where it passed away from its injuries. The husband, police reported, was transported to a community medical center to be treated for his injuries. He was expected to recover. After the attack, police reported officers patrolled the area around the home to make sure there were no other polar bears nearby. If this dude doesn't get the rug and then they don't make sweet, heroes welcome married, time on that rug in front of a fireplace, I am calling Justin. I'm calling Justin Trudeau and making sure this man gets the polar bear rug. Yes, they are the most deadly bears. Like, they are the most. Polar bears will hunt humans just because they are for fun. Like, just because. So, no. Why are. Polar bears are a big old no for me. They're cute in the Coca-Cola commercial, but I would like them to stay generally away from me. Now, if you don't have a date for Christmas, there's a solution for that. This woman is a high paid stand in girlfriend, and you can buy any sort of packages that, to take this woman as your girlfriend to your family event. I'm paid to be a stand-in girlfriend at family's Christmas dinners. I'll even wash dishes for a price. So you can get the silver package plus a present, 2 hours at dinner, matching outfits, and I'll tell a few jokes. Gold, 450 plus present. 3 hours at dinner, cute backstory, how we met, photos with the family. Or you can go platinum. And you get for $600 and a present. 6 hours with the family, all prior packages. I say I love you in front of the family, kiss you on the cheek, wash dishes with your mom, and close friends post with your family. I, okay, you guys, I have a couple things to say as a mom of boy children, but if this heifer shows up to my Christmas in this particular outfit, I am pulling my son aside and saying, "What the hell is she wearing? This is not Jerry Springer. I mean, we don't really care what you wear, but I will not be poked in the eye by a nipple of some chick you're paying to be your girlfriend because she can't wear a bra. So she better not put a dent in the damn mashed potatoes is all I'm saying." Now I'm a Christian, even though I'm a bad one, so I'm not gonna say this to her face, but you tell her to keep her ghibli bits out of the cranberry sauce, okay? Because she apparently just could not wear a bra. I would be that mom. Yes, I would. She's at the top of every bachelor's wish list. Single men are frequently forced to stave off questions about their love life when they head home for the holidays, but one inventive OnlyFans star is coming to their rescue. Jacinta Rebecca, 29, is willing to pose as a smitten girlfriend to men who pay the right price. The Miami-based bombshell has unveiled her Christmas girlfriend packages on social media, with some services costing up to $150 per hour. "I'm providing a great service for the holidays for single guys," Jacinta wrote above the photo, featuring 3 different packages on the offer. Yeah, but do you get to put your package anywhere? I mean, single men who opt for the silver package must be prepared to pay Jacinta $250 plus give her a gift. In exchange, she will call in at the family's home for 2 hours to eat dinner and tell a few jokes. Well, yeah, however, the buxom brunette was quickly hit with backlash from some ex-users who described the stunt as pathetic. "This is a recipe for disaster," one detractor declared. However, other excited men admitted they'd be lining up and emptying their pockets for a chance to get close to Jacinta. "Ma'am, I don't really approve of this. I'm not a prude. I just think it's gross to, lie to people's families." Now, as a person who's lied to her family sometimes, I mean, I get it. I totally feel it. But that's for when you're pregnant and you don't want to tell no one because they already give you the look like, "Are you gonna stop breeding?" I guess that's a personal story. Anywho, most families just want their children to be happy and to find their one person that they can fall in love with. Most families don't care who the hell you fall in love with as long as they're a good person and care for you and you care for them and you're willing to try to take on this world together. But to give moms and families the idea that this is something that could be something, because generally you don't take a girlfriend or side piece or chick nugget to like big family events. This usually signifies that this is quite a serious relationship. And then you're going to have to explain to your family why she's not here at Easter unless she's coming up with like an Easter feast package. I mean, However, another horny man admitted he wanted more than just a kiss on the cheek from the brunette beauty. I need more in the premium package, the ex-user complained, hinting he wanted to lock lips with the OnlyFans star beneath the mistletoe. Ma'am, this could get ugly. I just, no shame in her game. Hate the game, not the player. And again, if you come to my house wearing this outfit, I will be pulling my son aside and making sure that he tells you, madam, if you get your booblets into the mashed potato when you're trying to get over to the gravy, I'm gonna have issues with it. No, tell your side chick, your chick nugget, to wear a damn bra to the house. In other news, Colombian hitwoman 23, known as the Doll, has been arrested for several unalivings, including her ex-boyfriend. It's always the crop tops that are going to get you guys. See a crop top? Beware. A doll-faced killer will get thrown in the box. The sultry 23-year-old Colombian woman known as the Doll and labeled a dangerous hit woman was arrested in connection to several targeted gangland killings, including the recent ambush murder of her ex-lover, according to local reports. Karen Judith Ojeda Rodriguez, known to the police by the alias The Doll, was cuffed for her alleged involvement in several high-profile murders in the municipality of... Oh, you've got to be kidding me out. Barra Cabrera Maje. Looks someplace in not America, all right? It is a Friday. I have no idea. There is no phonetic spelling. Not even gonna attempt it. Allegedly carried out at the behest of the Los de la M gang, Spanish language outlet Libertad Digital reported Thursday. Rodriguez was reportedly in the midst of a career expansion. What was she making, like an assassin's school? I'm confused. Audio copy. Two different numbers. You're going to get two different services if you call these women, so make sure you have the right 1-800 number. All right? Good point, audio coffee. Like, was she going to make a hitman school? Like, what the hell? I mean, ma'am, you're beautiful. And if you would just not, unalive people, I'm sure you could have been an Instagram model. Also, ma'am, the Kubrick look. Is she looking up at me under her eyes? Or are those her eyelids? I am now terrified. Rodriguez was picked up by police after July 23rd ambush of her ex-boyfriend in a rural area of Colombia known as Piedecuesta, according to Magdalena Medical Police. The femme fatale called her ex, David Jesus, and beckoned him to meet so the two could supposedly resolve a money dispute, but the unsuspecting beau was riddled with, freedom seeds when two men drove by on a motorcycle and took him out, allegedly at the behest. She's not an assassin. She's just the mastermind. I thought she was going to be lying there like all Kill Bill with like a katana and a long range force multiplier like the daggone accountant. But no, she just gets dudes to do stuff for her. That's called having boobs. I was over here thinking she was going to be like Scarlett, Johansson in the Avengers, but no. She's just over here using her boobs to get guys to do stuff for her. That's not news. That's called every day that ends with a Y. Rodriguez was arrested alongside an accomplice, Paula Valentina Joya Rueda, 24, who is known under the alias Gorda Sicara, which translates to fat hit woman. Okie dokie. Fat hit woman. That's it. I'm putting that in my LinkedIn. Although I'm going to say semi-fluffy, okay? Another accomplice, identified as Leopoldo, was taken into custody at the same time as the doll, with police saying they seized a revolver and a 9mm caliber pistol during the arrest. Police are working to determine if those weapons were used in any of the recent unalivings, according to local reports. With the capture of the alias, the doll and Leopoldo, a period of calm has been created in the region. Those arrests mark progress in the dismantling of criminal structures responsible for the recent homicides. Lieutenant Colonel Mac- Marico Herrera of Magdalena Medio Police said, according to Infobabe. A homicide is reported every 3 days in Colombia, which boasts a population of just 1,300,000 people. According to People Population Review, officials have yet to announce the charges that she and her accomplice will face. So there you go. Apparently, between hot hit woman and fat hit woman, it just wasn't a good team. You need funny hit woman. As we have always learned from the Golden Girls, you need a trifecta. You need a Blanche, you need a Dorothy, and you need a Rose. And they only had a Blanche and a Dorothy and no Rose. It was destined for failure. Now, speaking of another witch, apparently someone is going to give her another kid. Amber Heard is expecting baby number 2. Now, I'm sure she probably doesn't mean herself, but ugh. She is delighted for both herself and Una Page. I guess people just aren't calling you back for no more movies, so you got to have a kid to at least get your name back in the headlines. And I don't put it past her to have a kid just to get her name back in headlines. I think that she is about as deep as a puddle that's evaporated in Georgia and has the morals of an alley cat. The Aquaman actress, 38, is expecting her second baby. People can exclusively confirm a spokesperson for Heard. Who the hell is still a spokesperson for Heard? It's still quite early in the pregnancy, so you will appreciate that we do not want to go into much detail at this stage. Suffice it to say that Amber is delighted for both herself and Una Page. Heard, who is already a mother to 3.5-year-old daughter Una Page, whom she welcomed in April 8th, 2021, when she received the news of Una 3 months after her birth, Amber wrote on Instagram that she had decided, "I want to have a child 4 years prior and wanted to do it on my own terms. I now appreciate how radical it is for us as women to think about one of the most fundamental parts of our destiny this way," she wrote at the time. "I hope we arrive at a point in which it's normalized to not want a ring in order to have a crib." Ma'am, you don't want a ring because no one wants to marry your exceptionally crazy butt. You laid a duke in someone's bed. You put a stink pickle in someone's bed. Like, I'm sorry that you want to put a ring on it, but no. Again, ma'am, stink pickle. You pooed in a bed. Just no. No, 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 no. Since then, Heard has shared periodic updates about Una and motherhood. And Kay, thank you for becoming a new member. Welcome to the Church of Mo. We have dark chocolate and sarcasm, and we liberally use them both. So thank you so much. Here you go. And this will go back in my shadow box for 2024. Again, thank you guys so much for all of your support. I appreciate it greatly. This has been such an awesome, kind of medium to talk to you guys, to share my love of weird and ridiculous news, and just to some days get me out of bed when maybe I don't have the motivation or want to give up. Knowing that you guys are out here waiting and, will hang out with me is always the greatest motivator. Now, so she just posted herself. She's been posting herself as a multitasking mother. Heard was previously married to Johnny Depp, whom she embroiled in a highly publicized and contentious defamation trial in Virginia, which she lost. After the legal battle, the actress moved overseas to live a quieter life in Madrid, Spain, mostly because she couldn't stay in America, because we all didn't like her. With the trial behind her, Heard told NBC News' Savannah Guthrie in June 2022 that after the verdict, she was looking forward to focusing on her family. I get to be a mom, like full time, you know. Well, that's a great way to spin that no one wants to put you in their movies anymore. Where I'm not having to juggle calls with lawyers. Sources told People late last year that the actress' decision to relocate abroad after the chaos and attention of the trial became overwhelming. The trial was beyond stressful and she wanted to start fresh, said one source. Leave Amber alone. Now, had she gotten the guy that was like, leave Brittany alone, that would have been funny. But no, no, she couldn't even do that. She couldn't even make fun of herself like that. So she's independent and smart and she needs to heal. How about she just tries to find the truth, like actually saying it? Later in 2023, actor or director Colin Allen, who worked with Heard on the thriller In the Fire, told People that the star was living her best life in Spain with her daughter and finding happiness in that way. The filmmaker added that Heard is such a dedicated mom. I'm sure she keeps her baby in her purse like those, Hollywood stars that, keep their little teacup poodles in there, allegedly in Minecraft. And she's just about really good about making time for her baby. No, I trust a dingo with my children before I'd trust Amber Heard. Like if we were having that, feminist question like Amber Heard or a polar bear, I'm picking the polar bear. Okay, because at least I know the polar bear's an enemy. Amber Heard's going to try to poo in my bed and call me a misogynist if I make fun of her and how she dressed like Ava Braun the entire trial. Which one of her stylists said, you know what, sweetie, we need to soften you up. Would you like to look like one of the female guards at, Buchenwald? And she's like, yes, that sounds beautiful. She's like, we can go Ava Braun or Evita Peron. And she's like, how about we do a mix of both and Nurse Ratchet? What in the name of all that is Cheetos is going on with this timeline? I don't even know what to say about this headline, but convicted cannibal serial killer sentenced to death for dismembering victims for sacrifices. If ever there was a case for a DP or the DP, I would say it would be this one. This guy seems to be the one that maybe old Sparky is okay with. Jason Allen Thornburg, a Texas man who was convicted of unaliving 3 people in the name of sacrifices and admitted to eating parts of at least one of his victims, was sentenced to old Sparky for his crimes. Shocking. YouTube does not like the words death and penalty in the same phrase, so DP. It is a single entendre, my favorite kind of entendre. A jury found Thornburg, 44, guilty on November 20th after he was accused of committing gruesome unalivings of David Labarez, 42, Lauren Phillips, 34, and Maricruz Matthews, 33. The dismembered remains of those 3 victims were found burning in a dumpster in September 2021. Thornburg was indicted for their murders that December. In his arrest warrant, he admitted to the unalivings as well as the apparent murders of his girlfriend, Tanya Begay, 36, and his roommate, Mark Jewell, 61. On December 4th, Thornburg learned his fate. Prosecutors were seeking the death penalty before the beginning of the trial. Tarrant County Criminal District Attorney Sharon Wilson said in 2022, The decision on whether or not to seek the death penalty is a crucial decision this office makes. The death penalty is reserved for the worst of the worst criminals. It's only fitting that we seek the death penalty in this case. The killing of the three victims connected to Thornburg's conviction were especially grisly, according to the probable cause affidavit. Thornburg said he had an in-depth knowledge of the Bible and he believed that he was called to commit these sacrifices. In the case of David Lurares, who had been staying in a hotel at Mid-City Inn in Euless, Texas, with Thornburg in the days leading up to his murder, the killer said that he, quote, believed that David needed to be sacrificed. He sliced David's throat, then cut him into pieces in the bathtub. Now, Thornburg initially hid the remains in his room in trash bags before obtaining Rubbermaid type tubs to store them in. Maricruz Mathis came to his hotel 2 days later and met a similar end. Her remains were then also stored in the container. Lauren Phillips arrived 2 days after that, but Thornburg told the police that his attempts to stab her failed and he had to strangle her instead. KDFY, a local Fox affiliate, reported that even more disturbing details were revealed during the trial, including the admission by Thornburg that he ate part of Lurares' heart and cut off his twig and berries. He also admitted to SAing Phillips' corpse. The container he used to store his victims' body parts were also cleaned and returned to the store where... Sir, this is not like your granny putting a bunch of leftovers into the free Tupperware that you get with every country crock purpose. You returned the GD Tupperware? I already have issues with going to buffets and the fact that people touch things in the grocery store and children lick things and everything is gross. But you returned them? That's it. Nope. No. All attendance to Lord Chippy. All attendance to Lord Chippy. Forget the DP. This man is going in, feet first. You do not return your murder kit to damn Walmart. Oh, hell to the no. No appeal for this man. Straight to the death penalty. I cannot. While the cases of Jewel and Begay were both separate, Thornburg admitted to the police in the affidavit that both of them were also sacrificed. Thornburg was indicted in Jewel's death, and Begay's body has never been found. During closing arguments, prosecutor Amy Allen told the jury, quote, "He is a sociopath. He's evil. He's the type of evil that we want to believe doesn't exist in our community. We want to believe that we are not raising our children in a world where people like Jason Thornburg exist. We want to believe where we live in a world where the Bible is not a weapon, where your vulnerabilities don't make you prey to a serial killer. But so long as we live in a world with Jason Thornburg, said evil will exist." Thornburg's defense team attempted to argue that their killer client was, quote, doomed in the womb, and that he didn't choose to be that way. They told the jury that he admitted to the horrific killings, quote, because he thought he did the right thing by committing a horrible, sinful sacrifice. It's the voices he heard which are not justified. They are evil in a way, but he believed it was correct. That is just so bizarre. It's so bizarre, but see, that's what he believed. He believed his sacrifices were correct, and we know as citizens it is not correct. Jurors deliberated for less than 5 hours before unanimously deciding to hand down a death sentence for Thornburg. Family members of the victims had their chance to confront Thornburg after he heard his sentence. The sister of David Lurares, Lauren Dunphy, said, quote, "He took the life of our loved one in a horrific and unspeakable way, which in and of themselves are evil. These were planned, cruel, gruesome, perverse, repeated, and hidden. These were especially evil deeds. But the evil of the acts is compounded when we learn about Jason's intentions. It's incredibly difficult to hear the Bible twisted to justify these heinous crimes." Norma Harris, the sister of Maricruz Mathis, described the pain that she and her family felt at their loved one's loss as unbearable, and she added, I hope you receive forgiveness in heaven because I don't think I can do it. The aunt of Lauren Phillips, Deborah Curry, said, quote, "You have committed the ultimate blasphemy against God. You said you do your work with God, but it is Satan you work for. You have destroyed all the virtues that God gave you, and you willingly filled your soul with the work of Satan by slaughtering our beloved for the pleasure in some gruesome manner in a cowardly way from behind while they lay asleep at night." Uh, J. Warren St. John, one of Thornburg's attorney, told the New York Times that he was disappointed about the sentence. Under Texas law, Thornburg's sentence will be automatically appealed. Thank you, Sandy D, for the super chat. I appreciate it so much. And I'm glad that I help you guys start your day with something fun and maybe not so political, kind of random. But I figure there has to be a place where people just want to get the news and maybe don't want to have a whole bunch of, you know, doom and gloomy stuff in there. I mean, I tell the truth. I pull up stories as they go, but I also don't want to leave you guys, uh, well, just depressed and black pilled at the start of the day. I did not have this on my bingo card either. A killer whale was spotted balancing a salmon on its head. He's trying out for Cirque du Soleil, the new Oceania adventure. Intriguing scientists and orca watchers. A killer whale was spotted balancing a salmon on its head earlier this fall near the coastline in Washington state, surprising scientists and intriguing orca watchers. The critically endangered southern resident killer whale was photographed with a salmon hat in late October near Point No Point, just off the northern tip of Washington's Kitsap Peninsula, according to the Orca Network, a nonprofit focused on the species' conservation. The whale is known to marine biologists and whale watchers as J27, though it is also called blackberry. Groups like Orca Watch track sightings of individual whales. Orcas were previously spotted sporting salmon on their heads in the late 1980s, said Deborah Gills, a science and research director of Wild Orca, a nonprofit conservation and research group. It's something that seemingly popped up out of nowhere in the 80s, she said, adding that the behavior then apparently faded away for decades. It's not clear what the behavior means. Duh. They're playing football and you can't use your flippers or soccer for the rest of us in America. But they're playing soccer, they're playing salmon soccer, and obviously you can't use your tail fluke or your flippers, or they're playing, salmon hacky sack. I have finished, I have solved the answer. Or it's an orca fashion trend. I mean, we did have low rise jeans and whale tails. We kind of stole whale tails. They're upset. They're like, never again. We'll make salmon hats fetch. In early November, Giles said that she saw a southern resident killer whale exhibit the salmon on head behavior, the second recent observation of it, but she wasn't sure whether the whale she saw was J27 or not. What I saw was the head of a whale and a fish on the head. It didn't see the dorsal fin or saddle patch, she said, referring to parts of the whale's bodies used for identification. Giles added that she can recall seeing southern resident killer whales doing it 4 or 5 times since 2005. She speculated that a whale exhibiting such behavior could be saving salmon to share it with another member of its pod, playing with the fish, or as part of social behavior. This fall, a hearty run of chum salmon drew a pod of killer whales to Puget Sound waters, she said. The whale with the salmon on his head was almost assuredly getting enough to eat at the time. It's indicative of a well-fed whale. If they were starving, which they often are, they would just eat it. When there's more food, they have an opportunity to socialize more or forgo a meal. They have an opportunity to interact with things in their environment. The behavior has drawn some headlines suggesting that whales have resurrected a decades old fad, but Howard Garrett, the president of Orca Network, says he's not convinced that there's evidence of a trend. When the southern resident orcas visit inland waters of Puget Sound, there's no shortage of eyes on the water, cameras that capture their visits. Garrett said in a statement, if the salmon wearing behavior exhibited by the whale known to local whale enthusiasts as J27 blackberry was, in fact, a revival of the old trend, there would be ample documentation of that. Southern resident killer whales, which typically spend several months in the Puget Sound each year, are critically endangered and protected under the Marine Mammal Protection Act. The whales rely on fish, preferably Chinook salmon, and live in three pods called J, K, and L. Southern residents have been in a spotlight of conservation effort for decades. Beginning in the 1960s, many southern resident whales were captured and transported to marine parks. By 1974, just 71 were left in the wild. Since then, the population has fluctuated, reaching a high of 99 in 1995, but trending toward the decline since then. There are 72 of those whales alive today. Research published in April suggests that the population is on a path to extinction. So, daggone it, we cannot lose these whales. If they are making fashion trends, I just can't. We must protect the whales. I, you guys, explainerate this one. I have so many damn questions. You know, ma'am, you could have just gone to church and gotten saved. An influencer drops $19,000 on a surgery to, quote, become a virgin again. But a doctor warns of the risks involved. I, y'all, I don't even, oh no, she has the lips. Men, stay back. This is, men, if you see lips like this, it's a tarp. Admiral Akbar is in the background. It's a trap. No, just no. No, no. Yeah, I'm going to say that this woman is a walking red sign. A Brazilian influencer plans to become a virgin again by dropping more than $19,000 on a vaginal rejuvenation operation. I don't even. Uh, what do they do? Like steam and do they detail it too? Do you get a new car smell? I mean, what the hell is going on here? Quote, this procedure holds special meaning for me. Ravana Hanley, 23, told Jam Press while describing her decision to cosmetically wind back the clock on her Smex life. The bombshell plans to undergo a hymenoplasty. This is how we get final form Jesus. Y'all, I am over here trying to just not end in the end times and be stuck on this MFing planet with damn Nicolas Cage still doing 27 Left Behind fucking movies because he's got to pay taxes. But y'all want to bring final form Jesus and the rapture down on me when I'm just trying to collect Sailor Moon stuff, raise kids that are good, and possibly just jabber on the internet. But no, y'all are going to bring final form Jesus down here. I'm going to have to deal with plague and freaking, famine and everything else. And again, be stuck here with daggone Nicolas Cage doing Con Air 4 to pay his tax, burden off. Sorry for that rant. I just, y'all, I just don't want to end it. I don't want to live in the end times. And how are you used up and put away wet at 23, ma'am? I have a lot of questions. I need you to come to the front of the congregation. I'm not trying to judge you, but we have questions. Actually, I am kind of trying to judge you. What the hell, ma'am? Also known as a hymen repair, in which a surgeon sews together the torn edges of a woman's, you know, bits and pieces with dissolvable stitches. That way, the patient will experience discomfort the next time she, does the dirty. As if, in the immortal words of Madonna, she's touched for the very first time. Ma'am, you look like if I touched you, I'd have an oily residue. Like I- ma'am, you look how I feel. The reason I don't go to buffets, ma'am, you are the reason I don't go to buffet. You look like the sneeze guard that has been touched and licked by young children. And I'm going to touch you and get a film, and I'm gonna have to Purell, and then I'm gonna feel gross, and I'm gonna have to go into the shower. Okay, that's what you look like. You want to talk? How about not showing your boobsicles over here? How about not plumping up your lips? If you want to be known and noticed and you want someone to respect you and not lay with you until they're in a committed relationship or married, maybe don't show your booblets, have everything hanging all out. If it's really super de duper important to you, maybe don't show your nips and be lying, taking executive, just sit mexi pictures. Maybe virginity, purity can be more than just your body. You are focusing on the physical aspects, negating every single part of what it means to actually change your personality. Dear Lord, I do not like this woman and this entire idea. For Henley, who frequently shares salacious snaps to her over 266 Instagram followers, the surgery symbolizes a fresh start in my personal and professional life. I want to be a virgin again, declared the model. This is for my self esteem and for personal reasons that are important to me. Ma'am, that I'm guessing. I'm guessing you're gonna stop, showing nip pictures and your clam all over the internet. She is single and she has not decided who will, take her second, I guess her virginity 2.0. She added that the surgical time machine has psychological benefits, adding, in addition to aesthetic ones, claiming it's all about how a woman feels and what she wants for herself. It's unclear when she has scheduled her renovation. Jeez. They're gonna steam clean. What we typically do is we're gonna knock out a few walls. We're gonna, rip out the flooring, put down some good tile, Febreze everything, and then this is what we call flip our hooch. I just don't think that the home network is going to pick up flip my hooch. Maybe the Property Brothers, though, would. ABC, contact me. We've got flip this or pimp my hooch. MTV, talk to me. I have, I, I have an idea. Dang it. She does acknowledge that the procedure requires specific care, and she says she's fully dedicated to ensuring everything goes well. I will follow medical advice such as avoiding physical exertion, abstaining from intimacy for the recommended period, and choosing comfortable clothing, the aspiring virgin said. That's it. That's going on my LinkedIn thing. Aspiring virgin, mother of six. You guys, what in this world? What in this world is going on? However, Hannah Salusia, CEO of a London-based Metasonial clinic, a virtual doctor's office that offers access to specialist physicians, claimed that a hymenoplasty is not the sexual fountain of youth that it's billed as. Well, I mean, she looks very virginal here. I mean, who would have guessed that she's done 97,000 guys? I mean, who'd have thought? Oh, okay. I was like, are those the same people? But apparently, this is the doctor that's saying no, just no, just no. She said while the procedure is recognized as cosmetic surgery, it's more symbolic and doesn't actually restore someone's virginity. No shit, Sherlock. Let's get Columbo in here. She also added that this virginity reversal carries risks such as infection and scarring. A patient could also suffer minor bleeding during and after the procedure, irregular healing, and dissatisfaction with the results. I mean, imagine the amount of mirrors that you need to even see if they added, the new car smell into my mom. What did you talk about today? You don't want to know, but it was nice. These risks can be reduced if performed in compliance with ethical standards by top surgeons. But the concerns are more than physical. It also raises the ethical questions, and patients should be encouraged to be empowered to make their own ethical choice rather than feel forced due to societal pressures. Informed consent is critical as these decisions intersect with cultural and psychological dimensions. Hanley was quick to kick naysayers to the curb. Unfortunately, not everyone understands or supports such intimate choices. If it's an infamous, if it is an intimate fucking choice, then why are you sharing it on the internet? If it is truly a personal conviction that you have, but you don't want to go into the specifics because it's a personal choice, then how about not talk about your vag online? How about keep your uterus and your lady bits and your little flappy lips, both sets of them, off the damn line? How about you just do that? I know it would be impossible. I mean, what would you do all day if you couldn't talk about your vag? I'm sure you have something useful other than your vag. Dear Lord, I'm gonna light a candle for your mom, sweetie, because I'm sure she is embarrassed AF, all right? I'm gonna light a candle for her. Mom solidarity. Yeah, once I get going, I'm not very nice. In a sweeter and cuter story, a Philadelphia couple becomes the world's oldest newlyweds. And look at them. So sweet. You guys won't be able to hear the sound because I don't know what is wrong with Brave. Oh, he's breaking the glass. And she has her wig on. It's so cute. So, for those of you who don't know, in some sects in Judaism, once women get married, their real hair is only for their husband. I don't know. We're going to have to ask. Uh, I could probably sell those to her. I'm just saying for a friend. I just have to make little circles. I'm good at crocheting circles. But once you get married, your hair is only for your husband to be seeing. So some women will cover their hair with scarves or shawls or special coverings. And then women will just get wigs. But super cute. He got up to break the mazel tov to everyone. A 100-year-old man and a 102-year-old woman. She's a cougar. You better watch out. That little bow tie, that snazzy little, bolero jacket, she is a cougar. Uh, Living in a senior living home in Philadelphia, ended up falling in love and getting married, earning them a Guinness World Record as the world's oldest newlyweds. Guinness World Records confirmed that Bernie Littman and Marjorie Fitterman broke the record for the oldest couple to marry aggregated age when they tied the knot in the senior citizen facility where they both reside on May 19th. Littman and Fitterman met at a costume party in the facility and later discovered that they both attended the University of Philadelphia at the same time but never crossed paths as students. Sarah Schneiderman, Littman's granddaughter, told the Jewish Chronicle the pair were, quote, so lucky to have found each other and to be supportive to each other, especially during the pandemic. She wrote on social media that Littman and Fetterman both had 60 plus years of marriage to their first spouses and found love again at 100 years old. Rabbi Adam Wohlberg, who officiated the ceremony, told Fox News the couple had eventually reached the point where being just close friends was not enough, but husband and wife felt like the right step to take. Littman credited his lifelong love of reading and staying up to date on world events for his longevity, while Fitterman attributed her longevity to buttermilk. Not adding 27 gallons of buttermilk to my. Okay, wait. If I eat Hidden Valley Ranch, which is buttermilk, am I going to live to forever? Am I going to go on to be Cher? That's it, everyone. My side of ranch thing means that I am going to live forever. Still adding about 5 gallons of buttermilk. Gonna bathe in it like Cleopatra. They both love each other's humor and intellect, Schneiderman told the Guinness World Records book. They keep each other young. Yeah, I got it once thinking it was going to taste very rich like butter, and it tastes like sadness. It's so cute. They're so sweet. And, as a person that's seen my mother in law walk through profound loneliness, losing her husband of nearly 30 years, this is a wonderful story. And them finding love, them being happy and not being alone is just awesome. And I'm here for it. Now, I'm not here for this, y'all. This is a no. This is a no for me. I'd rather not deal with this. Crash covers Maine highway in landfill wastewater. I'm not going to Maine anymore. A crash involving a tanker truck caused a Maine highway to become covered in foul smelling liquid waste from a landfill. Yeah, dumpster. Why the hell are you hauling dumpster water? Like, why? What is going on here? I didn't know that there was an entire, industry of moving dumpster water out. What's wrong with people? Maine State Police said the tanker truck went off the road after a crash involving a truck hauling a traffic director trailer in a construction zone in the northbound lanes of Interstate 295 and Mile 41 in Gardner. The crash caused the tanker to spill about 9,000 gallons of what's known as quote unquote dirty water, wastewater from a landfill. I call it dumpster corrodated dumpster water. Ooh. That sounds fun. The Maine Department of Environmental Protection was summoned to help clean up the hazardous materials. There is not enough Febreze. All right, well, we're just going to need to burn that particular part of the highway. Only holy cleansing fire can help with that. I, I, look, I'm just saying, is there an intercontinental, item that we can send to this particular evacuated area of this highway? Because I'm afraid there is not enough Febreze and Lysol to clean that up. Only holy, all-encompassing fire can fix that. The tanker driver cited for failing to maintain control of a motor vehicle and failing to yield to a highway maintenance vehicle. Yeah, he's a pretty shitty driver, and he left a shitty mess. And that joke is still funny. So, you guys, here is a better look. Now, my husband was like, "You're insanely proud of yourself." But this is the Snoop on a stoop. He does have one where he's driving in a very nice car, but I kind of like the Snoop on a stoop. I'm also keeping my options open because I might get that snow globe too. Mr. Mo was like, "You are just proud of yourself." And I was like, "You have no idea." Also, I got the B Rex, you guys. I got the stuffed B Rex. He will be here soon, and he's going back. In theory, I'm supposed to get shelves up at some point. but the B Rex is coming home to me. I definitely needed it. Um, so a little bit of a plug, shamelessly, for my live stream at 10. I will be talking about grief and kind of my story, how I joined Grief Club, and the weirdness and total wonkified. It's a word. It is a word. Um, Nature of delayed grief, and just kind of talking and chatting about that. I think for too long, grief has been kind of like Grief Club has been like Fight Club. We don't want to talk about it. Like we tell everyone, it's, it'll grow and time and all this. And we don't really talk about how incredibly unique and different grief is for everyone. And the big point of this is that grief might be delayed. Grief might not show up the way you think it should. And I never knew about delayed grief. I was just sitting here 16 years later and like a kick in the tit, you have to deal with some damn grief. I'm like, it's been daggone 16 years. What the hell? I I have dealt with this, but apparently I didn't, which is, well, I was putting it off. You know how you like layaway stuff? Apparently my layaway program was denied another renewal, so I get to deal with this. On a PSA, public service announcement note, never tell God you would like to work on personal growth because he will not understand that as you want to, get some abs or maybe lose a chicken neck or, I was in my contract that I wrote with God, subsection B, appendice 3. I was like, all personal growth will be limited to looking really good in a crop top. Now, he was like, "Oh, you want emotional growth?" And I was like, "No, hard pass. That's a no." And he's like, "Double helping?" I was like, "I don't think we are communicating as well as we should." I'm like the Blanche Devereaux. I'm working on myself. Pilates, tanning. And Dorothy's like, "Anything on the inside?" No, no one can see the inside. As per usual. There will be humor. I don't deal with things without dark humor and sarcasm, so it shouldn't be a total cry fest. But have your hillbilly roll of paper, your hillbilly Kleenex ready because there might be some parts that are a bit difficult to deal with, but for the most part, it's a mode stream, so it's gonna be irreverent. I'm gonna say some things. But you get to kind of learn my story and how I was so shocked that I had to deal with grief after 16 years. And honest to goodness, if my stream can help anyone who's felt incredibly guilty or ashamed or confused when their grief is just an iceberg for years and years, because I carried that guilt for a long time. I was like, gosh, I can't feel anything. What's wrong with me? Zach, I kept trying to defer, but apparently my payment plan was like, no, you're making enough money and you have time now. And I was like, no, you don't understand. I'm trying to YouTube. I have no time. But grief can sometimes be on Jeremy who? Are we talking about the Hales? I can blame no one, but sometimes your grief is an iceberg because you don't have the ability or the time or the bandwidth to deal with it. And you're not a bad person. So if my stream can help someone who's been carrying around guilt because maybe grief doesn't look the way that everyone publicly performs the dance, or if you feel nothing right now, that's completely okay. And I didn't know that. And I struggled with it for a lot of years. And if my stream can help just one person not feel that way, then it's worth it for me. If I can share my story, get it out there, maybe make grief club something that isn't so hard to talk about because no one wants to join this fucking club. We don't. No one wants to have to learn the handshake and hear all the things that people try to tell you when there really are no words to say anything in these moments. No one wants to have to deal with these difficult mix of emotions. We don't want to be in grief club. It's but we need to start talking about it. And maybe then, people won't carry guilt for years and years. But that's my shameless plug. It's not going to be a stream for everyone, so I understand if it's maybe too close to home right now or you just don't want to learn about Grief Club. Totally get it, but the option is open there for you guys. Uh, so follow me, or I'm going to actually be sending you guys to that so you can put on the notification. But again, it's kind of an odd topic. It is around the holidays, but maybe the holidays are the right time because I lost my husband uh nearly 16 years ago, November 11th. And maybe it's the time to talk about this. And it's maybe it's time. And it's not something shameful, but you can approach it with humor and sarcasm and irreverence, and it's still, talking about it. So let's do it or not, depending on how you feel. But I did want to throw that out there. And, I am learning how to do this grifting thing. So I will see you guys there. I am going to go rotate laundry, the real never ending story, and try to figure out why there is an ice cream scoop in my front flower yard, front flower bed. I asked the boys and no one wants to confess. So apparently some robbler came in, you know, found an ice cream scoop in my house as the most valuable thing and then uh put it in my front flower bed because, well, I haven't quite, figured that one out, to be honest with you, but I will come back with a headcanon story. I'll see you guys then. Have a great day. Happy Friday. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. But carry a can of bitch fire, 'cause kindness does not mean doormat. No, it does not. Bye, you guys.